go for the Young Drivers Canadian Vintage Modifieds. Green flag is out, and the 43 of Jay Pepin gets a good start on the bottom. He's going to bring the 7 of Quinton Murdoch, the 14 of Scott Tonelli, and the 15 of TJ Marshall all along with them. The 5 of Ian McIntyre didn't get going up on the top side. It's going to put a couple cars here at the back. Unfortunately, the 5 is going to slide all the way back to about the 8th position, where he finally slots himself in line on the bottom side. Single file at the front of the field. The 43 of Pepin leads the way. Murdoch in the 7 car is hungry behind him as he is all over the back bumper of that 43 car. Now Murdoch's going to look to the bottom. Battle for the race lead. Pepin on the top. Murdoch on the bottom. Side by side down the front straightaway. Give that lap to the 7 of Quinton Murdoch, and he's going to take off with the race lead. New race leader, the 7 of Quinton Murdoch. He's going to bring alongside him with him, though, the points leader heading in tonight, the 15 of TJ Marshall. They're going to go battle door to door here down the front straightaway. Murdoch will prevail and take that race lead, but Marshall is all over the back bumper. The battle behind them, though. 14 of Scott Tonelli, the 1 of Mike Pod, the 8 of Rick Willigar, all sliding through underneath the 43 of Jay Pepin, as well as the 84 of Jeremy Barton. Those cars all snuck through on the bottom side. Now that 43 of Pepin is going to slide all the way back to the 7th position. Still your race leader here as they work lap number 6 is the 7 of Quinton Murdoch. In second, the 15 of TJ Marshall. Oh, problems with the 7 of Murdoch. Murdoch slow down the back straightaway. Car with a little bit of a hiccup there coming up off of turn number 2. That's going to pack the field all the way back up. Tough break for the 7 of Quinton Murdoch as the car stumbled just off the exit of turn number 2. That allowed the 15 of TJ Marshall to take the race lead. Murdoch able to pick that car back up to speed. He's going to slot himself into the 6th position now, so tough break for our race leader. So on lap number 8 here, the field is as follows. The 15 of TJ Marshall up front. Second, the 14 of Scott Tonelli. Third, the 1 of Mike Pod. In fourth, the 8 of Ricky Willigar. Fifth, the 84 of Jeremy Barton. Sixth, the 7 of Quinton Murdoch. Seventh, the 43 of Jay Pepin. Running in 8th is the 5 of Ian McIntyre. Then the 9 of Jessica James, or in 9th, the 2 of Jessica James. And then the 57 of Joey Woolsey rounds out the field. Lap number 10 goes up on the board here. TJ Marshall continues to lead, but he's got a train of cars behind him. The battle for second is now going to heat up as Scott Tonelli with a big wiggle down the back straightaway. That's going to let the 1 of Mike Pod jump to the outside into turns 3 and 4, and he's going to clear the 14 of Tonelli down into turns 1 and 2. Move the 1 of Mike Pod up to second now. See if he has anything for the 15 of TJ Marshall. Tonight's race for the Young Drivers Canadian Vintage Modifieds presented by Wow One Day Painting. As the leaders continue to work around the 3rd mile Flamboro Speedway, they work around the 57 of Joey Woolsey. Headed into tonight with a 3-point cushion was the 15 of TJ Marshall. He was your points leader. Then the 7 of Quinton Murdoch and the 8 of Ricky Willigar just behind him, 3 points back. So keep an eye on that battle. Tough break for the 7 of Murdoch as that car seems to be okay now, but with a big stumble off of turn 2 a little while ago, it slid him all the way back to the 6th position. So tough break for the 7 of Quinton Murdoch. Lap number 15 goes up on the board. 15 of TJ Marshall leads. The 1 of Mike Pond settles in right behind him. The battle for 3rd and 4th, though, is starting to heat up as the 14 of Scott Tonelli and the 8 of Ricky Willigar battling it out here. Tonelli in that 14 car had some tough breaks here early on in the season, but that car here in the last few weeks has been running a little bit better here. Now he's going to get a little bit of a nudge from the 8 of Willigar, slid him up the racetrack, and that's going to allow Willigar to jump into that 3rd spot. Slide the 14 of Scott Tonelli back to 4th now. 17 laps go up on the board completed here of this 25-lap feature event. for the Young Drivers Canadian Vintage Modifieds. Battle for the race lead is really starting to heat up as the one of Mike Pott is putting all kinds of pressure on the 15 of TJ Marshall. Big wiggle for the one of Pott this time off of turn number 2. He's going to lose about 2 car lengths to the 15 of TJ Marshall, so we'll see if they can sort themselves out and see if Pott can regain that momentum on the 15 of Marshall here as we work lap number 19 here. So we're going to see the 5 to go symbol this time around. So far, this feature has been clean and green as the 5 to go symbol from their flagman Doug goes up in the air. 5 more trips around for the 15 of TJ Marshall, but he's going to look in that big rear view mirror and start to see the one of Mike Pond start to creep back in here just a little bit. It's going to have a little bit of lap traffic ahead of him. That's the 57 of Joey Woolsey. He's going to stay at the bottom. Marshall with a little wiggle down into turn 1 and 2. That's going to open up the inside just a little bit for the one of Pod. Down into 3 and 4. Pod going to put all kinds of pressure to the 15 of TJ Marshall's back bumper. This time, Pod's going to look to the inside in turn 1 and 2. Marshall's going to give him a little bit of room on the bottom, but he's going to keep that momentum up on the top side. Pod trying everything he can to get around the 15 of Marshall, as this time they're going to see the 2 to go signs up in the air. 2 more trips around for the 15 of TJ Marshall. Can he hold on to this race lead as the one of Mike Pod is all over the back bumper down the back straightaway? Pod with a big nudge into turns 3 and 4. White flag is in the air. 1 more trip around for the 15 of TJ Marshall. Marshall through turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Into turn 3 and 4. Pod's going to give it one last try. No dice. Down the front straightaway. Checkered flag flies. Feature win goes to the 15 of TJ Marshall. Coming home in second is the one of Mike Pod. In third, the 8 of Rick Willigar. Fourth will be the 14 of Scott Tonelli. And rounding out the top 5, the 84 of Jeremy Barton. We'll head down to Quick Victory Lane and grab a word with our feature winner, the 15 of TJ Marshall. Down here in Quick Victory Lane, an epic racewear victory lane for the Young Drivers Canadian Vintage Modifieds. On their night, sponsored by Wow One Day Painting. An all too familiar spot for the points leader, the 15 of TJ Marshall. He's going to climb in the car. Fans, put your hands together for your feature winner, the 15 of TJ Marshall. We'll grab a word here with TJ. TJ, you're taking a look at that back bumper. It got some abuse out there. You're able to keep that one of Mike Pod behind you. How was this 15 car working?
I had a lot of experience running the Mike Pod line. I was in the Mike Pod driving school for a long time. Just started parking in the center, driving up square. I don't know. Car's getting really loose in. I'm not sure if rear brakes hanging up or something. Not happy.
I mean, you can't be too disappointed. You get this 15 car to victory lane. Who do you want to give a shout out to here in feature number 1 for getting this 15 to victory lane?
Yeah, so I need to thank Young Drivers, all the support they've done with the club for the past 4 years. Wow One Day Painting, they're our nightly sponsor. I'm really glad to see them on board. Looked like Jay had a good run, so that's good. I mean, all my sponsors, Swears Custom Painting, Riverside Heating and Air, Sabaris Engineering Group, Creative Edge Signs and Graphics. We have a new car coming some point. Creative Edge lettered it. It looks pretty badass. So
there you go, fans. How about a round of applause for your feature 1 winner, the 15 of TJ Marshall?